I want you to do that scream again, Joe. That's going to be my new ringtone.
Okay. So anyway, start over again. I'm so sorry.
All right. I'm really excited to be here. Do you know what day it is?
No, we do not.
No.
Terrible people.
It's Small Business Sunday.
Small Business Sunday. Yes, of course, of course.
And it is
Thank
October,
you for having us.
which is National Book Month.
Mhm.
So that's why this is so important.
Yeah, it ties in totally with everything we got going on. Plus, we're very Halloween-y people, both you and I and Lily. So it's very good that we get together. And I think this should be like a really good ongoing series for you. I'm excited to see who else you have on.
Yeah. So I think my next interview is going to be with, they're called Convicted Printing. They make shirts locally, and they also contribute toward ending human trafficking.
Okay.
Oh, excellent.
So I'm going to see about getting some Crypnotic merch made by them.
Nice.
So that's going to be the next stop. But since you are my guest, we're talking about you today. So lay it on me. Give me the scoop. What's going on with Ninth House?
Ninth House Media is working on encouraging this man to finish his third book, which he just started. Finally, after a little bit of a hiatus and not, would you call it writer's block, or just wanting to take a break?
I stopped giving a shit. You know, I took like 4 to 6 months off. This was the last book that I wrote. International best-selling author Joe Vallen, by me, Joe Vallen. Thank you. And I really felt like, I don't know, like with Unkillable Joe, my first book, I felt like, you know, I worked out a lot of personal demons, and I connected with people on that level kind of by accident. People that were going through stuff, you know, that became my readership, basically.
Yeah, I really connected with a lot of people.
Yeah. But so for bestseller, what I wanted to do was I wanted to give everybody a payoff. And I wanted to make a story where every character in the story got their payoff. And in bestseller, every single character gets what they want. And it's a total car crash. It's a metaphysical car crash.
That's one way to put it.
And I love it. And I thought it was a strong book, and everybody get their payoff. Now in this third book, okay, so then after I came out with this one, my sales of this are still more than this. And I don't get it. And it kind of like at first put me in a foul place. Because I was like, well, if this didn't make a dent, what can I possibly do? You know, because I thought this was strong.
Right, you put
know,
just everything into
I
that
put
book.
everything into that book. I deleted it 40,000 words in. I deleted it all and started over. Because I had a stronger idea. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to let everybody down with some haphazard schlock.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill it. I'm going to come out. I'm going to show everybody I take my craft seriously. You know, I'm going to train. I'm going to learn about my tenses. I'm going to learn about syntax. I'm going to learn about how to pace. I'm going to learn about how to build a climax through crescendo. I'm going to learn about my act structure, my character arcs, the hero's journey. I did a shitload of training.
All day it was like research, videos.
And I'm a kid who failed English. You know, I failed English. So with this book, I trained very hard, and I think it comes through in the writing. It's much cleaner than Unkillable Joe. But Unkillable Joe has a raw fascination for some people because it's just very raw. You know, that's what I think it is, and I think people like that. So the third book is getting back more to that. But worse, because now I'm middle-aged. You know, like I'm 41, and this next book is sort of like Joe losing his mind at 41, writing his third book. And that's what I'm doing right now. So
right. Very meta as always.
Very meta. It's a very Alice in Wonderland like story meets, kind of like Unkillable Joe, really. Unkillable Joe meets Alice in Wonderland. And you have the third book. I'm calling it World Class Failure, Joe Vallen. And I just think it's a really beautiful title after like international best-selling author. You know, like now I want to be the world-class failure. And Joe's just pissed off, you know? So I'm having a lot of fun in this book because I'm getting to like flex and be myself. And the whole journey takes place basically in my head. So I'm the god of that world, and it's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun. So other than that, I don't know. We have business ventures and stuff too. We're doing like the sheaths and holsters and 5-minute knives on YouTube. I have that going on as well. So
right, so just really busy all around, like everything kind of hit at once, and just kind of taking everything to the next level.
Exactly.
Right now.
And a lot of our ventures right now are not like the side of my brain that I rely on to write fantasy. They're like the side of my brain I rely on to like win at chess, or like
or
make a
trash at chess.
Yeah,
exactly.
I stream chess now on Twitch Monday through Friday. Trash at chess. Trash at saying trash at chess. Monday through Friday, Lily and I are on, and yeah, I got really seriously into chess. Arm wrestling, I got big into arm wrestling. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just getting old. I'm just getting into things. When you get old, you just start doing shit.
Right, trying to stay competitive and keep yourself alive and interested and going.
Well, it's weird when you stumble on like a skill you didn't know you had. For example, you may start a business and crush it. It just may all just take off, and just you do really well, and all your employees are really happy, and everybody loves you, and everything just keeps expanding forever. That's incredible. You just stumbled on that. It's a good thing you started that, and that could happen to anybody. So.
Okay.
I think that's the theme.
So while discussing seasonally appropriate spookage, what are your favorite Halloween reads?
Halloween reads?
I was such a big fan of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Right now I'm working my way through Mona Kabani's newest book, Vanilla. What else? It's lately like not a lot of reading. It's been so much about the business. But Poe is a classic. I like the old school classic horrors. Those are always my favorites.
Yeah, I like to read like the I used to read the Necronomicon once a year around this time, and I liked it because actually I'm kind of relying on a lot of that research for the new book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's some of the macabre in there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Going to the other side.
Yeah, because I remember the first time I read the Necronomicon. First, it was the story of the book itself. It was like all but a certain number of copies were burned at one point, and then it was translated a bunch of times, and then most bookstores won't carry it, right? And all this shit. So I was like, well, I got to read this naturally, right? Like that's exactly what I have to be reading.
Stuff you're not supposed to.
So I got it. And I forget how I got it. It was like some weird bookstore ordered it for me. I think 3 said no. Like I went to like 3 bookstores and they all said no.
Wow.
And then finally I went to this one bookstore. It was like, I don't give a shit. It was like an occult store. Fine, I'll order it for you. I'm like, cool. So I get the Necronomicon and I read that in the bathtub the first time. And
not good, probably.
Well, no, it was fine. It's not that it's not that it scared the shit out of me. It didn't really scare me. It's just that there was like, I kept getting all these zings of truth, like with fantasy, I approach fantasy the same way you approach like a stranger, like how full of shit are you? Right? And so when you're reading fantasy, you're like, do I know this is fantasy or am I immersed in the world? And if you're immersed in the world, you're like, fuck yes, this is great. You know what I mean? This is the kind of story that gets me off. I like this. But if you're not and you're aware that the writer's trying to you're just like, yeah, great, thanks.
It was like too flowery or something.
Too flowery or lowest common denominator. It's one of those things. So what were we just talking about?
Our favorite horror.
So anyway, the Necronomicon. When I was reading the Necronomicon for the first time, I did not get the sense that like this is full of crap. Like there was a lot of things in it that where I'm like, would that make sense? Could that make sense? There's symbols in it. There's like very serious symbols that they say, this is the symbol of so-and-so. Don't use it unless you want to deal with so-and-so. And you're like, oh, well, okay, I won't use that. And I'm in the tub just like flipping through. And suddenly like just this chill came over me like, is any of this based in any truth? And then I started thinking like, now I really like this book and I don't want to know the answer. And I guess Ali Hazred or whoever initially you know, whatever. There was like the main guy that the book's written about. He was like lifted in a town square and his back was broken in front of everyone. And they, you know, there's like this myth behind him and all this stuff. So for me, it's the Necronomicon. It would have to be every year. You have to read the Necronomicon because it's not like a horror story. Because when you read like a horror story, you know you're reading a horror story. You get in that mindset. You just go, I can handle anything. Throw it at me. What do you got? Saw. What do you got? Rob Zombies. What do you got? This, that. I can deal with anything horror. We've seen it all.
This one actually scares you because it's like this stuff could be real.
Yeah, and it's
So
just
what if?
it's just a what if. Yeah, like a lot of that H.P. Lovecraft stuff really does get me. H.P. Lovecraft, anything Lovecraft, you know, around Halloween, perfect, because it's written in a time that you're not familiar with, so you don't know what's off and what's not about his writing, and so you just kind of have to go with it all. And it's kind of like anime. When you watch anime, you get really immersed. You know, like with a good anime, it's the same thing with a good book. You know, with a good,
it should draw you in, and you get really lost.
A good book puts you off your balance just a little bit, and then you have to go with it. It's like, you know, I don't care how you speak. This is how I speak. Let's go.
So on the subject of fear,
Yes.
in your experience, what do you consider the scariest parts of running your own company?
Ooh, failing customers for me is something I don't want to have angry, upset customers for any reason.
Yeah, I hate having upset customers. Also, I hate telling people what I do for a living when I'm really proud, and then if it folds, I'm humiliated when I have to tell them that I don't do that anymore. You know?
Right, the things that you stop doing.
And I've failed 10 trillion times. I've had millions of ventures go under. I'm a world-class failure. And
Have become full circle.
that's I'm telling you, in my middle age, I've realized like what a good failure I am. And I failed so many times. And I think since I'm the protagonist in this story, I think the redeeming quality about me is that I keep trying new shit all the time. You know,
and that's what I love about you, Joe.
I'm always trying something new, and I'm always failing at something new, and I'm always trying something else. And then some things I stumble on that I have an innate ability, and I don't fail, and they go fine. And I feel that way about the writing. You know, for me, like the books are exactly as I'd want them to be. I wouldn't change a single thing. We're gonna send you the new one, this one, new version.
I did.
But in its final form, I wouldn't change anything. If there's any typos left, good, I love them. So, you know, just leave it. But other than that, I bomb at everything, and it's made me kind of fearless. So really the only thing I fear is telling people I respect that I failed again, because they don't understand that failing is part of the process. You know what I mean? Like,
or at least the people that don't. Some people do.
You know what? Failing is part of the process. That might end up being my next tattoo. That just might, because I have struggled so much with that since starting Crypnotic.
Well,
and
I think
all fear comes from myself. No one else has these expectations of me. No one. It's all just me.
And you want it to be perfect, like instantly, as right out the gate. And that's like, it's like gnawing, trying to wait for that moment to come when you think it's like finally together, but you'll get there. Every day it's like little steps towards it, you know, tweaking your website, getting better at little things, adding things into what you're selling or your repertoire, what you're doing. I think I was looking at everything earlier. I think you're off to an amazing start for what I feel like it's been like so quick that you put this together.
Obviously things still need work, but that has to come in baby steps, because the more I overwhelm myself with this task management, micromanaging bullshit, the more mistakes I make and the more I fall behind.
True. True. Yeah, and you're an army of one too, so you have a little bit more against you. We at least have each other.
Lily, I've been telling your space cadet over there that I need a Virgo.
Yeah.
That's what because I'm a Gemini. Do you know how hard this is?
Yeah.
I need to maybe I should assemble some other Virgos like for my team. That's kind of my dream for ninth house is to if I have a couple people working for me that can do similar little administrative and all these website and little tasks, send them out, let them help people.
Oh my God, an army of mini Lilies. Yes, an army of, I like them. Put me on the waiting list. I'm going to deposit right now.
It's funny because we have different splits in what we do in different things. For example, in I do all sound and mastering, and she does all the video stuff. I do all manufacturing. Anything needs to be made, I make it. But she does all the marketing and selling of it. She does all our bookkeeping and our tax stuff.
Budgeting, the design stuff.
Right. And I locate larger clients for our wholesale side of things. So
and he's the closer.
I'm a closer. I'll show up at a store, I'll just pull over and go into a store and just say, I think you need my stuff. And then we'll just talk. And then we just got our first order from a local shop that way. And
I'm the millennial that's still kind of scared of phone calls. So
we're I'm the millennial that cannot navigate technology.
Yeah.
I'm totally an old grandma who's fumbling with a printer. That's I'm that one.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt with her earlier when we couldn't get the video working. I felt like my grandparents just smiling like an asshole, trying to, be polite.
Is the phone call connected?
Guys, October is also National Italian Heritage Month and National Pasta Month.
Very cool. I didn't know that.
I checked off both boxes because I'm Italian.
Yeah.
It's also National Chili Month, but I didn't have the ingredients and I kind of wanted pasta more. And it is
so good right now.
I got ravioli. It is Bat Appreciation Month, and there are so many bats in this sauce.
Nice, good.
Enough bats to win the World Series.
Perfect. I love it. And I didn't know it was an Italian Heritage Month, but this month Lily did just learn how to cook my grandfather's meatballs, and that's a big deal because
I think it was also Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah, Lily.
Yeah, September to October. It's like a weird mid-month thing.
They're mid-month, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't know we had a month, but that's actually pretty cool. I'm Sicilian, so American, but my people come from there. The boot or the soccer ball.
Little Islanders.
Yeah, and then whatever the milkman was. So that's me.
Ninth house projects are on the horizon.
Ninth house on the horizon. We are currently working on, I would say, my most immediate thing. Well, it was Savannah Rain Eulin's next book, Redheaded Author. She was coming out this month. It was planned to be a Halloween-themed horror release, but we had a snafu. This is one of the things with illustrators and artists, not like a bad thing of all of them, but something we've experienced. She got ghosted by her illustrator completely.
I've had really bad luck with illustrators, and I got into by writing comics.
Yeah.
That was my whole deal. And now I write novels, and that tells you how I feel about working with illustrators.
You are not the first people to tell me that about an illustrator. And what I have heard is that because they tend to be the more creative types in that way, they tend to be more flighty.
Maybe I think the writers are more creative. The writers are coming up with the story ideas. It's the artists that are complaining. The artists are like the construction foreman that's like, oh, that's going to take a lot of scaffolding, and you're like, I don't give a shit.
And you just sit there and draw, which I mean, it's hard carving that time out, I guess. But yeah, who's to say why this person did it? She said that they deleted their whole social media, everything. So that's kind of put on the back burner. I'm doing a lot of client projects right now, trying to catch up on them. Anything that's like a personal ninth house media is there's some stuff cranking in the background. I'm assembling some people for some 2022 releases, but kind of just letting that simmer while we work on also just this creative side. We've been just making so many things physically instead of working so much on the online stuff. It's been just a little bit of a change which has been awesome. Like, I love being able to do different things with it.
Yeah. Well
It's
said.
really hard being, someone who is creative for a living because, when the floodgates open, everything is great. You've got a flow going, but then once that dam is up, just writer's block, artist block.
Yeah.
And it's so hard.
Yeah, my thing though is I'm kind of blessed in the way that I'm fueled by like kind of like a negative energy is kind of how I do it. Like the only other person I've ever heard talk about it was Henry Rollins, and he discusses.
I love Rollins.
I love him to death. Like he's like my spirit animal, this guy. But he talked about it. He said that he just thinks about people that were mean to him in his past, and everything he accomplishes is just him crushing them into a finer and finer dust, and they can never be fine enough. So like he has a book of his accomplishments in his foyer or whatever, and everything he does, he knocks it off the book. I mean, this guy has written like 20 books. Henry Rollins has done everything. Trust me on that. So his book is damn near full, and when he's down and depressed, he flips through the book. And he starts realizing, like, okay, like you're fucking Henry Rollins, man. Like, snap out of it. You're like a hero to a lot of people like me. That everybody says be positive. Well, some of us can't. Some of us don't know how to do that. It's just not even. We've seen too much reality, and or we've experienced too much, or whatever. But that part of our brain is either dead or rotted, or fallen off, or misshapen, or something. But it doesn't mean we're weaker or we can't experience joy or anything, but we get our joy with knocking out projects, completing these things, seeing people get really happy, connecting with people like you because I wrote a book. You know what I mean? Like this is what we get out of it, and it's a quiet joy. It's a quiet happiness. I don't need to be dancing around to be happy. I'm very happy. But I always sound like an asshole. So I can't help it, but I am actually a very happy person because I am following my own dream and I'm doing the things I want to do. The scary parts are, can we pay bills next month? Can we afford to hire our employees and keep them employed? Mm-hmm. Can I keep a readership up? Can I not disappoint, maybe thousands of people that read my other books with the new one? Mm-hmm. Can I ever make a goddamn comic and find an artist that's not going to cry at me like some foreman, some emotionally crippled foreman? I don't understand it.
He's going to complete a book, something.
I get so annoyed, but I'll just keep writing novels. And I wrote a TV show. Also, Lily's getting into kind of like the agent thing, where she's like, I'm giving her
slowly but surely trying to reach out to agents and get some film and TV stuff
exactly
in the works, because that would be the ultimate kind of escape key, is like an instant 10K from some sort of
and 10K
selling something that's small.
10K would be an absolute insult. I would walk out of the room. I wouldn't even, if you told me 10K for my last television show, I would leave. I would go away. That's silly. But no, we're not just going after bigger money. We're going after a bigger audience in a totally different way. Like, yeah, I can write novels. I can write TV shows. I can write movies. I can write comics. Like, I want to prove all this stuff because this is me, making that dust finer and finer, as I keep knocking stuff out. Like, I caught up with somebody from my high school I can't stand. We're 41, and I can't stand this person. But I figured we're 41. They're saying hi to me. So I'm like, hello. How are you? And then it turned out that when we got to catching up, it was like, well, what do you do now? And the person told me what they do. And I was like, I didn't want to tell them what I did because it would sound kind of made up.
Made up.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, that's cool. I make sheaths and stuff. And they're like, oh, neat. What's your site? Tell them my site. Cool. And then they say, you have a YouTube channel? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. It's already kind of different. You know what I mean? So some people didn't do shit. And they're happy with that. I would not be happy with that. I cannot be happy doing nothing with my life because for me, I feel like we need to leave some sort of evidence that we were here. Otherwise, what's the point?
Right.
But what about then when like the world supernovas and all the evidence is gone?
Huh?
then it doesn't matter in the end anyway. So we might as well try.
Yeah, but I don't look at it like that either. I feel like I want to leave something that could be resurrected later and possibly dug up and used. Like, they say through all your online presence, they're going to be able to make a hologram for your loved one someday that's a lot like you. And it's going to get a lot of things right. Like when they're lonely and missing you, they're going to be able to sit with you and get some real answers, right? And that blows my mind. Just knowing that, I want to leave the biggest trail possible then. So the Joe Vallen 4.0 in 2080 something
It's just a perfect AI of you.
it's like if you could bring back Vincent Price right now.
Ooh.
And he was just sharp and he was just like with you and he was like, you could ask him questions about your life and he'd give you good advice and like everything. But maybe that's me someday for some young writer, mutated alien species, half cyborg motherfucker, can't come up with a good idea, comes up to the unkillable Joe hologram chip.
Right, he's just Googling it with his 8 arms or something.
Yeah, and you can go and you can talk to William Shakespeare and you can talk to this person, you can talk to that person, right up to Joe Vallen, where you can ask him, what do I do? My characters aren't motivated enough. And I could be like, take everything away from them. So anyway, I'm just being an asshole. I'm just trying to be silly.
So how do you handle the competition from other companies, and do you ever find your competitors intimidating? Whether that's other writers, other publishing houses?
No.
I think that we definitely have like our own special niche, if that's the word you want to use for it, that reaches the right people. I think there's enough different people out there that they seem to be like enough on their own. And also I think we're just doing it at a different level.
It's not
not like incredible, but we're trying to get to that next level.
Well, it's not even that too. It's like everything we do is built on a foundation of connecting with other people doing what we're doing. So whatever we're doing, we're connecting with everybody doing what we're doing and we're promoting all of them. So it's
that's what I'm doing.
You
even
can't
people who aren't doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to,
That's how I do it.
This Sunday. I'm taking all you guys with me.
Perfect. I love it. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
What do you think clients can get from your independent business that they couldn't get from a larger provider?
Hands-on.
Yes.
At least on my side, I'll let you answer right after this. Wait.
Okay.
So wait, on my side, it's that my business is slow enough at this point where I can bother the hell out of my customers. I could say, ordering your material now, update. And they're like, okay, Joe, thanks, and then I'm like, got your material, I'm gonna press your sheath now. They're like, okay, send them a picture of it halfway through. And then I make it, done. I send them a picture of like the box after Lily puts it all together. And I tell them, thank you very much for your business. I made it as fast as I could. Have a great day. Think about us in the future. So what they get out of me is I can harass the hell out of them as far as you're taken care of. Like, you're not worried about your money with me because I'm telling you everything I'm doing. Very transparent. Similar with Lily, but different.
Yes, exactly. Like being very hands-on, being very available to our customers or our clients. I'm always texting with people on Instagram, on calls, Skype, everything that we do. And for Ninth House, the way that we run our creative process is very different, because it's all like still very much controlled by each person, and we're just like facilitating that. But I think that that's what they really care about, and they really seem to be connecting with, is that just somebody on their side that cares about their project and is nudging them and keeping them going through it, and who has also a little bit more experience that can guide them on what they're doing.
That's huge. Yeah. So Ari, like, I think you said you were working on some shorts and stuff. I think in the future you should consider working with Lily. It's a good experience.
Oh, I would totally. I wouldn't go to anyone else. It's just that right now, juggling 2 jobs plus my own business, like that leaves no time for writing.
It's crazy.
So once things settle down, because you have to remember, I do also work in retail, and holiday season is coming up.
Totally.
Oh, I want to hide in a hole.
Yeah, but it'll set you up really good for owning your own business too, because this last run of your 2 jobs, this is going to be it. You're just going to go off your ramp and you're never going back. And that's like giving all, like, My last job, I told my employer when I came in, I go, this is my last job ever, working for someone else. So I'm going to make it a good one. I'm going to bust ass for you. I'm going to give you all my skill, my heart, my dedication. I'll be on time. Okay. Most of the time. And when I'm not, I'll make up for it with hard work. So you don't have to worry about me and I won't steal from you. And he was like, you're hired. So I was like, cool. And then I took over this guy's business like completely in 2 years. Lily worked
Really
for us for a little
improved
bit.
it, yeah.
And she came in and I was the hiring manager and I hired her, of course. And, you know, we were already dating at this point, but we got to do some shows together.
Yeah, I just needed like a little extra weekend job and it was fun to
cute.
do the events. And
But I made it my last retail endeavor. I made it my last job. And that's my advice to you is you give these jobs your all, and then you give your business your all, and then you just sort of F off from the jobs, you know? You just say like, you guys were great, but you weren't that great. Smell you laters. And you just go and
I would do that, except for one of my jobs, my roommate is my boss.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. If you actually like part of your job, then definitely stick with it.
I've quit jobs where my boss was proud of me. Like even in this last job, he was like, you're gonna do your own thing. I go, yeah. He's like, good for you. I was like, cool. So he thanked me for my service, and that was that. But I think you're gonna do great. I think this is a great time in your life. It's very exciting for you, where you're busting your ass and you have so little time for each endeavor, but they all seem to be kind of lining up with each other and other people's stuff.
It comes to a point where the hard work is fun, and it needs to be. There needs to be something enjoyable that keeps you moving. The bottom line can't just be the money.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Because you aren't making money. There are going to be times that you are without sleep, you are stressed, and there has to be something else in it for you that isn't just, a bottom dollar.
Right. It's
Totally.
the big picture.
Yeah, I have this weird habit of waking up at like 4:30. And it's not that I'm not tired or anything. It's that I really want to know what emails I have. I really want to know what sales I've made. And I really want to know what sort of networking opportunities are in my inboxes right now. And I just, and I check our store and I look at some things and there's always something. So I'll answer an email or something like that. When I get everything cleared out, I'll conk back out at like 5 to like 6 or so. And then we get back up. But I was never a morning person until I started doing my own stuff. And now I can't sleep because I feel like, dude, I'm halfway dead. I'm not, I'm going to sleep forever. You know what I mean? Most of the people that ever existed are just sleeping all the time forever. That's all they're doing. They're just being dead forever and ever and ever. Almost every human that's ever lived is dead. So we got to do something, like while you have a minute. And then after that, go to sleep, So I view my businesses as,
Actually, I really resent sleep because we spend a third of our lives asleep, and I'm just like, there's so much of that time I want back.
And I love sleeping. I mean, I like feeling rested, and I like laying down. I like cuddling. I like watching movies, all this stuff. But I really feel like, because I got a late start, I was not a productive, like early 20 something. Like I was just causing a lot of trouble. And then in my mid 30s, I kind of snapped and started writing and doing stuff. Then I was in your shoes where I had the 2 jobs and starting my own business. So I know what that's like. And then things started clicking and, I started doing stuff. So I didn't really start doing what you would call my life's work till I was 35. So I feel like this like ticking clock of like, hurry up, that maybe somebody in their 20s isn't troubled by. So maybe that's kind of my go-getter is that I'm older.
Right. It hits you like in waves. I think that feeling creeps up on you.
That, and I want to take care of my cipher. I want to take care of people around me. Like my friends that have good business ideas, I want to just write them a check and just like not worry about it. Like do your business, dude. Like have fun. Don't pay me back. It's stupid money. Who cares? I made a ton of it. Just start throwing it around, like the Joker in Batman 1. That's what I want to be. I want to bring Prince back to life in a hologram, and then he's going to sing for me, and I'm going to throw out bags of money to whoever needs it. And, I want to start libraries.
If you throw me a bag of money, then I'm going to have dibs on David Bowie's hologram. That's where the money's going to go.
Oh,
perfect.
Excellent.
That's actually a pretty good hologram to get. Wow. Of all the holograms you could get, would David Bowie be the one?
And which David Bowie? Can you switch?
Exactly.
Can you switch outfits?
So
Well,
he could be any David Bowie, right?
Can you press a thing and then I'm in. I'm in. I want one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I called dibs. I called dibs. No.
Okay, we got. Can I
Don't
share?
get more of Joe's money. Get your own.
See, I might go with more of like a little. I know this is kind of like a sort of like craft beer suggestion, but I might go with like a Christopher Walken hologram or possibly an aforementioned Vincent Price. You know, either one of those would be fine.
Vincent Price. I share a birthday with him and Christopher Lee.
Wow.
And they're like my horror icons.
Christopher Lee is an amazing dude.
I know. And musician. Like, people forget
Yes.
he's a musician too.
He was a metalhead in his 80s.
Yes.
And
And I just,
ever.
Yeah.
yeah. But Christopher Walken is one of these celebrities that I am dreading the day I hear the news. Christopher Walken dead at 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
I have a list of celebrities that I'm not going to be ready to see go, and he is the top of that list.
Yes, and I've lost a few recently that I felt that way about. Now, the thing is with Christopher Walken, don't worry. He's going to outlive both of us. You have nothing to worry about. We'll be long gone when he dies. And he'll die
and Betty
because
White will inherit the earth.
yes, exactly.
She's turning 100 in January.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
How exciting.
That's awesome.
And I know Rolling Stones in July, they lost their drummer, Charlie Watts, but like Jagger and Richards are still kicking.
Yeah.
And my theory is that all the drugs they've done over time have had them mummified and preserved on the inside. So they're going to be around a good while.
Well,
And so we can all hope.
yeah, and it gives me a lot of hope too, because it's like I did a ton of drugs and drank a ton of booze in my day. And what I'm more concerned about though is some type of like brain Alzheimer's thing with me, because
that's what gets me. No, I don't
I have a crazy imagination as it is, and I could easily Shutter Island my way right into some trouble. You know,
Right
I know I could. I start suspecting everybody around me. You know, I'm a martial artist. I'll knock people out.
They're like, Pop, stop.
It's not good.
Kidding me.
It's not good. So I do fear that. Other than that, the Rolling Stones really give me a lot of hope that maybe drugs aren't going to shorten my lifespan at all. I don't really do them now.
Seen the way Jagger moves on stage?
He looks good. He moves better than I do.
These old rock stars.
But then you have the other side of the coin. Like Ozzy did a ton of drugs, and he's not in the best shape these days.
Yeah, but he's not been in the best shape for the last 30, 40 years, though. So he's been all, you know. I mean,
just Ozzy, but he's still Ozzy.
He's still Ozzy, you know. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna be okay. I'm dating, you know, a younger woman. I think that will keep me alive. Lily's blood will keep me vibrant.
That's what it is with Ozzy and Sharon. It's the blood.
It's a lot for a man.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I mean, what are we gonna do here? I mean, you know, this is Small Business Sunday, and I know that we got a little philosophical, but really, when it comes down to small business, you're gonna have a lot of downtime. You're gonna have a lot of doubt. You're gonna have a lot of debt.
Oh yes.
It's just gonna get really weird. You're gonna start feeling like the polar bear, and it's gonna be a while since the last seal you killed. I recommend that you get gallows humor. You get, you know, a soldier's sensibilities, where you just start laughing at life's. Like when you get debt, you laugh at it. You're supposed to
just embrace all the badness, all the darkness. Embrace the failures.
That's our advice for small business owners: is that you need to laugh at your misfortunes, because they're essentially just character building experiences. In 2 years, when you have a full staff and everything's clicking, you'll laugh about the time you thought it was all going to fail. So hang in there. And if it does all fail, well, what do you do?
Again, what'd you learn?
You make another one. So.
All right. So before I let you guys go, I just want to let you know that I asked you what was on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to know what's past the horizon, you need to find out about Alien Entities. They are a company that makes conspiracy theory t-shirts, and they're local. And they work with Convicted Printing, whom I mentioned earlier. And it's all coming full circle. And we're going to have an Alien Entities and Crypnotic collaboration, maybe close to Christmas time.
Nice.
Cool.
So you can find them on Instagram. You can find them on Facebook. They recently opened a Shopify store, and they're going to be adding more shirts to it. And, you know, as a thank you for joining me for Small Business Week, I'm going to be sending you guys a goodie box from Crypnotic.com.
Thank
and
you.
it's going to have
You didn't have to do that. Thank you.
gonna have a few items that aren't even on the website yet. You are going to get a $10 gift card code for Catfight Coffee, because I'm sure you've seen a video or two that I've made for them.
Yeah, and I'm not married to our brand now, so we're in the market to try something new. If it works out, we could be in business long term.
Absolutely.
I'm
I love your
drinking
videos, by the
yeah,
way.
I'm drinking the Night of the Living Dead coffee now. It's really great. It's got this butterscotchy flavor, but my
Oh, I love
favorite
that.
one
I
is
want
the
that.
Alice Cooper blend. He's got the Alice Cooper coffee that is just, it's out of this world. And, it's owned by AC Slade, who is the guitarist for Misfits, Dope, bassist for some of them. And he was in the Murder Dolls. So that really just, it allows me to maintain my rock and roll vibes.
Awesome. While being caffeinated.
Yeah, I want the butterscotch one. That's the one I want.
Right, Night of the Living Dead. You'll have to check it out. I will send you the $10 gift card code. But most exciting of all is that for doing this interview, Ninth House is going to be amongst the companies included in the considered for the first annual Crypnotic Small Business Awards. And we are going to have the nominations and categories announced in December.
Okay.
Very exciting. Okay, give us more details. Anybody else we know, we will send them your way for the awards. That's so exciting.
So yeah, if you have anyone a small business owner, entrepreneur, even a freelancer, if they want to be interviewed for Small Business Sunday, that automatically puts you in for consideration for a nomination.
Okay.
Yeah, and are you considering people with like streaming channels, podcasts as like a small business?
That could be a separate category, but yes.
Okay.
Okay, because I know a lot of those.
In like every category, we need Dragon Scale Concealment, and the Twitch streamers.
Well, I think you should send a bag of coffee to Guts Podcast. You guys would get along really good. They're hilarious. They're dudes out of Texas. They're these like giant dudes out of Texas, and they're
a lot of fun horror content.
Yeah, they just brand themselves out. They're super fun. They're both like just like really positive influence, like
just hilarious, awesome.
Yeah, they have like a growing family. Put it that way. Check them out. Guts Podcast. You'll like those guys.
Podcast. All right. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. This has been fantastic, and I hope to have you on again.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Bob. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.